There's something sacred about a kitchen in the quiet hours when the world is asleep and the only sound is the low hum of possibility. A cracked window letting in the cool breath of dawn. A single flame flickering under a cast iron skillet. Not a fancy kitchen, not a gourmet spread, but something real, something warm, something powerful. That is where transformation begins. Anne Burrell once said, "At home, my food is just sort of comfort food. It's not super fancy, but it's certainly tasty." It's more than a quote, it's a battle cry, a whisper from the soul that knows exactly what it is, unapologetic, grounded, rich in intention. Because in a world obsessed with polished perfection, it's easy to forget that mastery often hides in simplicity, that greatness doesn't always wear a tuxedo. Sometimes it wears a stained apron. So ask yourself, what are you cooking up in your life? Not just in your kitchen, but in your mind, in your habits, in the quiet rituals you repeat when no one's watching. Are you waiting for the perfect recipe, the one with imported ingredients, 10,000 steps, and Instagram validation? Or are you taking what you've got and turning it into something deeply nourishing? That is the heart of champions. They take what others overlook and they turn it into magic. Not with flash, not with ego, but with relentless, obsessive intention. You see, comfort food is powerful because it doesn't try to impress you. It tries to feed you. And life, real life, isn't a five-star restaurant where you sit and wait to be served. It's a raw kitchen, a war zone of heat and time and pressure. And the greatest among us don't complain about the burn, they become fireproof. Mindset. It all starts here. You cannot master the external world if your internal world is malnourished. You can't serve greatness if you're starving yourself of belief, discipline, and faith. Just like a good dish starts with seasoning, your life starts with the flavor of your thoughts. Salted with conviction, spiced with intention. You wouldn't walk into Anne Burrell's kitchen and say, "Hey, just wing it." She would laugh, then hand you a whisk. Because she knows. Precision is freedom. In cooking and in life, clarity is the difference between bland and bold, between average and extraordinary. So, what's simmering in your mental pot right now? Doubt? Procrastination? Fear? If so, you better change the recipe. Because whatever you're stirring every day, those thoughts, those beliefs, you're going to end up eating them, and you'll serve them to your family, your business, your future. Think of Thomas Edison, hunched over his inventions, failing over and over, not for the glory, not for the applause, but for the recipe. He didn't need it to be fancy, just functional. He understood what you must understand now. Consistency beats complexity, intensity over aesthetics, grit over glamour. Because when the lights go out and it's just you and your goals, you will be the one who waited for the perfect conditions, or will you be the one who got your hands dirty and built the flame from scratch? Belief. That's the next ingredient. And not belief in some fairy tale, not a fragile belief that crumbles at the first sign of challenge, but belief forged in the fire of repetition, the kind that comes from burning every excuse until nothing remains but your will to win. Carnegie had it, Disney had it, Lincoln had it, and so does every person who turns an ordinary life into an extraordinary story. They all understood the secret. Your belief is the secret sauce. It doesn't matter what ingredients you start with, it matters how much of yourself you pour in. Success doesn't taste like perfection, it tastes like purpose, like passion cooked low and slow, night after night when everyone else has gone home. Clarity. This is the knife that sharpens your vision. Without clarity, even the most talented chef ends up lost in the kitchen. You can have 1,000 spices and still serve confusion. But when you know what you're creating, when you see it clearly, taste it in your mind, feel the heat of it in your chest, Suddenly, every action has meaning. Waking up early becomes a strategy. Saying no becomes a sacred boundary. Every habit, every step, every chopped onion and sleepless night becomes an ingredient towards something bigger. Not fancy, not for show, but nourishing, purposeful, unshakably you. And you can't buy that kind of clarity. You have to cut away the noise, peel back the fear, and carve out your own truth. Purpose. This is the heat, the fire under the pan. Without it, nothing cooks, nothing transforms. Anne Burrell didn't step into the spotlight by chasing trends. She followed fire. Her purpose wasn't to be impressive, it was to be authentic, to bring flavor into the world in a way only she could. And in doing so, she fed the soul of every person she touched. That's what your purpose must become. Not a job title, not a dream deferred, but a flame you feed every day. It must be loud in your heart and quiet in your ego. And when the world tells you to be fancy, be tasty instead.
Because people don't remember perfection. They remember how you made them feel. Discipline. Now we get serious. This is where comfort becomes power. Not because it's soft, but because it's sustainable. Discipline is knowing that good things take time, that the best meals don't come from the microwave. They come from the slow burn, from the hours, from the sweat. Do you think Henry Ford built an empire by sprinting? No, he built systems, processes, a daily rhythm so strong that it didn't matter how he felt. It only mattered that he showed up again and again and again. Discipline is not punishment. It's the highest form of self-respect. It's you saying, I am worth the effort. My vision deserves my consistency. My legacy demands my excellence. Every dish in life that matters, whether it's love, leadership, legacy, is made one deliberate act at a time. Chop, stir, taste, adjust, repeat. The discipline is in the doing, not the dreaming. And when others quit, you cook on. Action, the sacred act of turning intention into reality. You can stir ideas in your mind forever. You can perfect your recipe on paper. You can decorate your goals with the finest ambitions. But unless you take the first step, it's just raw dough sitting on the counter. Potential, untouched, cold. The world doesn't reward ideas. It rewards execution. Walt Disney didn't just dream of castles. He built them, brick by painstaking brick, in a swamp no one believed in. He faced rejection, debt, ridicule, but he had something greater than a plan. He had momentum, action, the courage to act when the oven was still cold and the critics were louder than the applause. That is your call now, to move, not later, not tomorrow, now, while the vision is still tender, still vulnerable. While the excuses are sharpening their knives, you act before they cut you down. Because life honors the bold, not the noisy bold, but the quiet kind. The type that wakes up at 4 a.m. and works while the city sleeps. The type that learns, adjusts, grows. And when you act like it matters, because it does. Every dish tells a story, even if no one else ever tastes it. And so does every choice you make. When you wake up, what you do with your pain, what you say to yourself in the mirror when no one's watching. That's your flavor. That's your fingerprint. That's what success is made of. Gratitude. This is your seasoning, the secret that turns survival into satisfaction. See, it's not the big wins that change you. It's the little ones you notice, the burn on your hands that reminds you you're alive, the scent of progress lingering in the air after a hard day's work, the smile of someone you fed, not just with food, but with your presence, your energy, your belief. We live in a culture that teaches us to chase what's next, but champions know how to honor what is now. Gratitude doesn't make you soft, it makes you grounded, sharp, focused. Because when you appreciate what you have, you stop wasting time chasing what you don't need. Anne Burrell didn't need gold-plated spoons to feel rich in her kitchen. She needed fire, food, and love. That's what nourishes a soul. That's what makes your journey worth the fight. So pause. Take it in. The mess, the progress, the noise, the silence. It's all seasoning for your story. Adaptability, because no recipe survives the real world unchanged. The oven runs hot, the ingredients run out, the guests show up early. And in that chaos, who are you? Adaptability is not compromise. It's not weakness. It's mastery. It's knowing that no storm ruins a skilled sailor, no broken egg ruins a chef, no failure defines a visionary. Abraham Lincoln didn't ascend in a straight line. He lost more than he won, faced ridicule, carried a nation on his shoulders in its darkest hours. But he adapted. He adjusted. He endured. And that made him unforgettable. You must do the same. When life burns your plans, cook something new with the ashes. When the people you counted on disappear, become your own foundation. When the path ahead is unclear, move anyway, because movement is clarity. Action is compass. Progress is always within reach, but never without adaptation. Resilience. This is the texture of your legacy. We live in a time obsessed with speed, quick wins, viral fame, instant gratification. But anything worth tasting takes time. Anything worth remembering takes struggle. Resilience is what keeps you stirring the pot when the fire goes out. It's what keeps your hands working when your heart is tired. It's what whispers just one more step when your body screams stop. Every successful person you admire, every mogul, visionary, artist, athlete, was forged in failure, not just once, over and over and over again. But they didn't break. They bent. They got back up. They tasted defeat, and it only sharpened their appetite for greatness. Your resilience is the crust, the crunch, the grit. It's what makes your success not just inspiring, but earned. So stop looking for easy. Start looking for meaningful, because meaning is born in the hard places, in the tension, in the doubt. That's where greatness lives. Learning, this is the stirring motion that never ends. The best chefs never stop learning. The best leaders never stop questioning. The wisest minds are students, even at the height of their empires. When you stop learning, your fire goes out. Every failure is feedback. Every challenge is a classroom. Every person you meet, friend or foe, is a mirror showing you something you need to see. Learn from the ingredients that didn't blend, from the ideas that didn't rise, from the relationships that burned, because the lessons you ignore will return. Louder, hotter, more expensive. But the ones you absorb will fuel you forever. Ford learned from steel. Carnegie learned from poverty. You will learn from your own bruised hands, from your quiet nights, from your relentless spirit. So stay humble, stay hungry. Keep your mind sharp, your heart open, and your hands working. Because the world is not looking for another copy. It's starving for someone real. You are not here to impress. You are here to serve, to stir the pot of potential inside you until it boils into something unforgettable. This is your kitchen. This is your flame. This is your life.
And now we arrive at the essence of it all, the heart of the kitchen, the heart of your life: authenticity. The world is starved, not for more noise, not for more content, not for more perfection, but for the bold taste of truth, realness, the kind of honesty that sticks to your ribs and doesn't wash away with the trends. That's the kind of legacy that doesn't expire. When Anne Burrell said her food was comfort food, not super fancy, but certainly tasty, what she was really saying was, I know who I am. That's not a culinary philosophy, that's a life code. Do you? Do you know what you stand for when the lights go out? Do you know what you're serving to the world when no one's paying attention? Are you chasing applause or offering nourishment? Are you trying to be impressive or irreplaceable? There's a difference. Because authenticity doesn't try to dazzle, it tries to connect. And connection is the highest currency we have. It's what powers leadership. It's what fuels love. It's what turns simple food into a memory and simple moments into meaning. You must become ruthlessly, unapologetically, and dangerously authentic. Strip away the polish, burn the masks, let the scars show. Speak with the flavor of your truth and act with the rhythm of your soul. Because that, not trends, not filters, not the borrowed voice of someone more successful, that is what changes the room when you enter. And when you live like that, your life starts to taste like freedom. You stop performing, you start creating. You stop competing, you start leading. And suddenly, you're not begging for opportunities. You're building a table so powerful they can't help but sit down and listen. That's what the greats did. Lincoln didn't mirror the politicians of his time. He led with the raw timber of humility and the backbone of conviction. Edison didn't build what people expected. He built what people didn't even know they needed. Carnegie didn't just follow a business model, he became the model. They all broke the mold by being the mold. And you've got your own recipe. Stop trying to be the next someone. Start being the first you. Because the people you're trying to impress, they're not even watching. And the people that matter, they're starving for someone real enough to inspire them. Purpose, vision, fire, consistency, resilience, adaptability, gratitude, all of it leads here to the most powerful question of all. Will you be remembered? Not for your possessions, not for your resume, but for the way you made people feel, for the flavor you left in their lives, for the heat of your presence and the nourishment of your truth. The uncomfortable truth is that most people are living microwave lives, fast, bland, overpackaged, and easily forgotten. But you are here to slow cook your soul, to roast your fears, to serve something unforgettable. And yes, that will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you approval. It will cost you every excuse you have ever clung to like a blanket. But what you get in return? Depth, satisfaction, legacy, a life that doesn't just look good, but tastes rich with meaning. So wake up tomorrow not with dread, but with hunger. Hunger to push, hunger to stretch, hunger to make today count. Not because someone is watching, but because you are. And you know, deep in your marrow, that you were not made to be average. You were not made to blend in. You were made to feed the world something only you can cook up. And yes, it may not be fancy. It may not be shiny. But if it's real, if it's seasoned with your truth, if it's built with grit and offered with love, it will be more than enough. It will be legendary. Because in the end, your life is your kitchen. Your habits are your ingredients. Your thoughts are your seasoning. Your actions are the heat. Your purpose is the flame. And your legacy is the taste you leave behind. So stir wisely, cook with courage, and serve something unforgettable. Because this, right here, right now, is your time to feed the world. So here you stand, not in a stadium, not on a stage, but in the quiet kitchen of your life.
And the question echoes like a heartbeat against the walls of your soul. What are you really serving? Because every moment you choose comfort over courage, fear over faith, distraction over direction, you starve the world of the gift that only you carry. And that gift was never meant to be kept in a drawer or hidden behind someday. It was meant to be plated, presented, shared. We've told ourselves for too long that greatness is a distant flame, reserved for the chosen few. But the truth is, the flame is already in you. It's there in the way you rise after being knocked down, in the quiet yes when the world says no, in the ordinary choices that, stacked together, become extraordinary outcomes. Anne Burrell wasn't talking about food. She was talking about life. At home, my food is just sort of comfort food. It's not super fancy, but it's certainly tasty. That's not a culinary statement. That's a philosophy of power. Because not fancy doesn't mean not potent. Comfort doesn't mean weak. And home? That doesn't mean small. It means sacred. That's where the real battle is fought, not out there, in here, in your daily grind, in your kitchen of chaos and conviction, in your willingness to return to the flame again and again and again, until what you create stops people in their tracks, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. The world doesn't need more noise. It doesn't need more polish. It doesn't need more borrowed voices. It needs you. Raw, on fire, clear, unbreakable, unmistakable. It needs your unique recipe, forged in failure, stirred with purpose, and served with relentless love. So the next time you doubt yourself, the next time you think you need more tools, more time, more validation, remember this. You don't need to be fancy. You need to be tasty. You need to be honest. You need to be present. You need to pour every ounce of who you are into what you do, not to impress, but to impact. Because if you do, the world will feel it. They will remember you, and they will come back hungry for more. So light your flame. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now. And when they ask where it all started, where the breakthrough came, where the shift happened, you'll smile. You'll look down at your hands, calloused but proud, and you'll whisper, right here, in my kitchen.
Then you'll keep cooking, because you're just getting started. If this message spoke to your soul, hit that subscribe button. This isn't just a channel, it's a movement, a fire, a reminder of who you were born to be. Subscribe now and never forget your power.